When I look at this nice, I want to show you something. I think you'll like it a lot. It's basically a specific habitat type. You get this Arctostaphylos glauca, aka the Bigberry Manzanita, Arctostaphylos woodland, with an understory of this is a lily called Calicortis. This is probably Amina, is the species, and then over there you got the Pedicularis densiflora, which of course is a partial parasite, like everything in the family. In the family, it's an Orobanchaceae. It's either a partial parasite or it's a full parasite. This is a partial parasite, meaning it can produce its own food via photosynthesis, but sometimes it likes to steal, or I call it forced sharing, forced borrowing from other plants, like this Arctostaphylos. And these Bigberry Manzanitas can live to be quite old, and they're one of the only Manzanitas that the seed does not need fire to germinate. I've seen seedlings coming up readily around this area. They certainly benefit from fire, but they don't need it. And over here, you got more lilies coming up. These are all Calicortis lilies. And then over here, you got the Fritillaria agrestis. It's those little tongue leaves. And there's tons of them coming up nice. See that? See how big that is? But they're not flowering now. There's a couple down the road that are flowering, but these ain't flowering yet. And then, of course, the further deep you go, you just see, oh, look, here's an orchid. Here's a Piperius species. I think they moved it to the genus Platanthera. You look at that venation, it's got that almost metallic sheen to it on the abaxial surface. Right there. Only the Piperius do that. Basal leaves, parallel venation, it's a monocut. Then you flip it over, it's got that metallic sheen. Now, over here you could see the Pedicularis is just having a grand old time. And then, of course, you got some pine duff coming from the Pinus siberiana, the ghost pine, which the European settlers back in the late 1800s, being the general shitbags that they were, turned this tree into a racial slur because its seeds comprised the base food source of many of the indigenous people here. So they would they'd call them diggers, which of course, you know, rhymes with what? Some good old classic American lingo. Isn't that nice? Here's Toxicoscordion, a very poisonous monocot, geophyte. Toxicoscordion fermentii. It's got toxico in the name because it's poisonous. It's so toxic for you. Used to be Zygodanus, I think. But they got rid of that genus too. And then, of course, over here, look, see, there's a Manzanita seedling coming up. There's Arctostaphylos glauca coming up. Oh, shit. Look at this massive bloom of Fritillaria. These are all lilies. Just blooming. Now, of course, they're not blooming, germinating. So they'll gather all the carbs through photosynthesis, store them in underground bulbs. Half these will probably get eaten by a rodent. And then eventually, a couple years down the line, they'll be like this. And then eventually they'll put up a flower like this. So see, here's one that's flowering. This is a Fritillaria agrestis that's flowering. Here's one that's not going to flower. This is just gathering carbs. So this is what they do. They send out these leaves when they're not going to flower. And then see, notice this one has cauline leaves just right off the shoot. This one's flowering. But these are the same species right here, just at different life phases. Then, of course, over here, you got the serpentine endemic Sargent Cypress. Hesperocyparis sargentii. And the cones need the fire to open, okay? They need fire to open. They got those little soccer ball cones. And this tree only grows on the serpentine soils, and it's ultramafic soil, which again is toxic to most plants because it's high in nickel, it's high in magnesium, it's high in iron, and it's low in essential plant nutrients like calcium and nitrogen. And here's what the cones look like. See, these opened on their own because the branch was broken off from the parent tree, but normally it'll stay closed until a fire comes through, and then the fire melts the resin that hold those cone scales together, and it just dumps out. It just dumps out all the seed, and then boom, you got a new population regenerating after the fire comes through, wipes everything out.